Alright guys, well I'm back today with an overview of a Palmetto State Armory complete Sabre upper assembly featuring a 16-inch barrel, one of their Sabre M-LOK rail systems, a ton of other really nice specs and features, but also the FDE color variation. When you are going through PSA's lineup, there's not a ton of FDE upper assemblies, but there are a few different FDE lower assemblies that I wanted to kind of complete out, and I thought this one had some great specs and features, a good color variation, so I selected this for test and evaluation. A huge shout out to PSA for sending this out at my request. I've actually been wanting to try this upper out since I saw it released. So if you guys are looking for an FDE upper assembly, just know that PSA does offer a few different options in complete FDE, as well as different options with black receivers and FDE or burnt bronze rail systems in their Sabre lineup. Now, before we get too far into the review of this upper, I want to give a huge shout out to AAC Ammo for sponsoring the ammo to help make this video. Without their support, it'd be really difficult to continue to produce reviews like this, and their 55 grain 5.56 work perfectly. I've shot thousands upon thousands of rounds, well over 6,000 rounds of this 5.56 without any issues whatsoever. Now let's get into the review of this rifle. Now, starting at the front, this one actually features the Sabre compensator, which does an amazing job. They've also done something pretty cool. When you flick it, it doesn't ping. That's because all three prongs are different lengths, so it doesn't resonate like other traditional compensators, which makes it really nice so you don't have that pinging and resonating inside the muzzle device itself. It does a good job of suppressing flash, and it's mounted to those half-by-28 threads. Those threads are actually on a 16-inch barrel with a 1-in-7 twist chambered in 5.56 NATO, and this particular one has a mid-length gas system, and the barrel material is 4150 chromoly vanadium steel with a nitride finish. And this is a great barrel that PSA has been putting in a wide variety of their upper assemblies, and it always works out great. Plenty accurate, definitely durable, and with the nitride finish, you're going to get really good corrosion resistance. To top it all off, you are going to get an adjustable gas block. Now, I really like the gas block that they're using on here. It is super convenient to adjust, and it actually comes with a really long Allen key to adjust that gas block, so you can dial it in for whatever you want. Now, that is also really nice if you decide to suppress this in the future, so it works out really well if you wanted something to either run with a can, low pressure ammo, high pressure ammo. It's going to be incredibly versatile, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in the reliability section of this review. Now, that barrel and gas system is surrounded by their Sabre rail system. Their new Sabre rail systems, I've absolutely fallen in love with it. I feel like they've taken some cues from some other really popular designs when it comes to overall design aesthetics and the ability to have this a rock solid lockup. There is M-LOK everywhere you need it, a lot of lightning cuts in here, as well as just the ability to vent all of that heat out of this rail system. But it does come with the monolithic pick rail at the top, and I love that because there's a lot of times I want to add pressure switches to the top, and sometimes a lot of companies will cut out this center part of the rail section to save weight and leave you with M-LOK slots or no slots at all. But I love a monolithic pick rail at the top, and that's kind of what I select. I'm glad they did that. Again, we are talking about a made in the USA rifle or upper with a made in USA rail system. It also has steel inserts in the QD slots, so when you are running those QD slings like you see in the video in the intro, you're not going to wear out that aluminum part of the rail system. So again, it's a nice part of quality and attention to detail that PSA puts in their Sabre lineup of uppers. It also locks in rock solid with this cross-lock design, as well as anti-rotation tabs built into the upper assembly. The fit and finish is spectacular on this upper, and the finish has been holding up really good. Now, when we are looking at the bolt carrier group, we are looking at a PSA Custom Fathers of Freedom BCG by Microbest with a spring co-extractor system. Now, the bolt steel is going to be Carpenter 158, and it's going to be a mag phosphate finish, and this bolt is absolutely awesome. If you're bolt is not working, your rifle's not working. I always call it like the heart of the rifle. If it's not beating, your rifle's not functioning. And PSA Sabre bolts have always run really well. I've got about 6 or 7 different Sabre uppers through the channel, and other ones that like my cameraman has bought and some of my friends have bought, and they've all been running great with no failures whatsoever. Love the BCGs that PSA is putting in their Sabre uppers. You're going to have a standard dust cover and forward assist, but you are going to get the Radian Raptor LT charging handle, which is honestly one of my go-to kind of mid-tier or upper-end charging handles, and I love the fact that they have that in all of their Sabre uppers. It's these little things like QD slots right exactly where you need them with steel reinforcements, a really great adjustable gas system, a flash hider that doesn't ping, the charging handle with the Radian Raptor. I mean, these things are really nice, and they improve the ability of that rifle to just function well, and interface well with the user. Now let's talk about the reliability and the performance of this upper assembly down at the range. And basic accuracy with the red dot was fine. I had no issues whatsoever, very accurate, took it out to 125, no issues whatsoever. And I've actually really scoped out a lot of the PSA 16-inch 5.56 barrels, this exact barrel and other builds, and they're definitely going to be adequate when it comes to accuracy. But this was 100% reliable with no issues whatsoever. It functioned great, and the ejection pattern was right at 4 o'clock with the factory gas settings, again using the AAC 55 grain FMJ 5.56 at 3175 FPS. Now you can adjust that gas block for whatever you need, so if you are running a can on the end and you want to keep that gas kind of tampered off, that's a really nice touch. And again, this thing just ran 100% functional with no issues whatsoever, and mag compatibility was great. I mean, no issues out of any of the mags I used. It just functioned perfectly down at the range. If you want to know more about the other Sabre uppers that they offer, definitely subscribe to the channel and check it out. And one thing to mention, PSA just dropped a ton of new Sabre uppers, and a lot of the complete Sabres, they've actually now pulled the uppers off of those and are selling those independently as well. So that's a nice touch. If you don't really like this particular color variation, but you like the idea of the Palmetto State Armory Sabre, there are so many new variations that just dropped the past few weeks. It's definitely worth taking a look at if you haven't checked them out recently. Thanks to PSA for sending this out at my request. Thanks to AAC for sending the ammo, and thanks to you guys for watching. Have a good one.